Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our streets where everybody knows your pain, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Back, Dad Bod Fantasy Squads. I'm here with Robbie Bobby Brosip.
I'm back, baby. I'm back and
Seriously,
better
Balloon
than
Shop?
ever. I'm ready for it.
Have you ever seen Balloon Shop, Robbie?
No. Can't say that I have, Mario.
Well, you forgot to change the title, Robbie. I put it in the notes. Look at you.
Oh, no.
Look at you. Look, he looks like a deer in headlight right now.
Oops.
Because for all you guys listening out there or watching, Robbie Bobby's getting his first drive on the restream tonight.
I am. So bear with us. And this
He's
is
stressing about it too. There he goes. He's got his beer. He's
some
ready to
liquid
go.
courage.
How was Cancun?
It was a fun but interesting trip, Mario.
I noticed you got something there.
Yeah. You know,
Some shiners.
a little shiner. Yeah, so in Cancun I was on a yeah, right there. Went there for a wedding. One night drunkenly, 4 or 5 in the morning, went to the bathroom, and they had these. It's at a resort, so they had these big, elaborate, thick, like half-inch thick glass doors in the bathroom. So
Wait. Okay, keep going.
yeah, so real thick. So drunkenly went to the bathroom and must have whipped pretty quick and smacked my face right on the edge of this glass door. Busted my nose, broke my glasses, fell backwards, smacked my head on the counter, knocked out.
No, out cold?
Out cold. Luckily, the best man was an ER doctor, and he gave me the okay. So started drinking right away.
Oh yeah, that sounds real good. I'm sure he did a good scan for you and everything.
I'm still here, so we're good. I wasn't going to go to a Mexican hospital, so I made it.
After seeing you suffer through what you were trying to do on Restream, are we sure you're good?
Yeah, it could be, some concussion protocols might need to be in place, but we're good. We're still here. Little black and blue. Who knows? Could be broken, could not. We don't know. We're just going with it today.
Did you see Here We Go Brownies shouted out our intro?
Here we go, Brownies. That's I believe
I think I know who that is.
That's Matt.
That's Matt. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He's back.
Thanks,
baby.
Matt. I actually thought it was somebody different. He's back. He's also back.
He's back, and he's better than ever.
We do have actual fantasy stuff to get into. Unfortunately, you can't hear more about Robbie smacking his face on counters and screen doors or whatever.
Unfortunately. It's not a glass door, Mario.
Glass door.
Thick bathroom glass door.
Fickle nose.
Yeah, it's not good.
I'm here with Owen Wilson. No, I'm just kidding.
Soon to be.
Wow.
Wow. Paid by the wow, baby.
We do have early tight end ranks to go over today. So
we do.
It's I don't want to even go there. We have our early tight end ranks, top 8. Uh, we have some differences here, but like you guys are going to be
Surprising.
doing sleepers tomorrow, which
Correct.
will probably be fun. Top 8, there's not huge differences, but both of us kind of changed on a guy. Maybe I was a little late to change on him, but I also was, the mind was there.
Yeah, that's my biggest. Yeah, we'll get
Don't
there.
tell who it is.
I
Yeah.
know that's my biggest question
Spoiler
mark
alert.
of the Dad Bod squad. We'll get there, but
When that moment comes up, I want you to look right into the camera, like
Okay.
dead into your webcam,
hmm
and be like this. What are you doing?
yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Maybe flick them off. I don't know. No, maybe
they've
look at PG.
Cody's already got me hyped up, but it's okay.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is right, baby.
All right, let's get into some news.
Dun, dun, dun.
It was a slow news day today.
It was.
Painfully slow. And it was, Robbie did a lot of prep for the show, and he's like, yeah, dude, I can't find any news. And it was about 11 a.m. at that point. And there still wasn't much.
Yeah.
Luka Fitzpatrick signs a 4-year, $73 million. 36 of that guaranteed, huh?
Yeah.
Big deal.
Big deal.
Let's talk fantasy only.
Yeah, it's not, no fantasy purpose, but that was the only NFL news of the day. That's how this is going to be.
He doesn't
the next
look too
couple
happy
months.
on this picture.
No, he's Minka, so he's just going to do his thing. But that's good for the Steelers. I mean, he's a great player, so they're locking their young defense players up, and they'll be good for, their defense is always solid.
Yeah, it's cool to see them sign him. As a Browns fan, it's not good for us. But I think Fitzpatrick is really good. I think that defense is going to be really good.
Yeah, he's such a Steeler. We're used to them by now, so.
Like always. This year could be worse for us.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Let's get into it.
Shall we? I wanted to start off with my top 8 tight ends. Sorry, I was texting Cody to let him know to try to change the name that you forgot to change. So at number 1, this one's gonna, I'm surprised you're not calling me out on this, but I still kind of think 1-2 is interchangeable.
Yeah, I mean, I could have, but that's splitting hairs. 1-2.
It's Mark Andrews.
That's your one, but
I'm the only one in our group consensus, I believe, has him at 2.
Deuce.
Yes, has him at 2. So I took him 1. I think they got rid of Hollywood Brown, and it just kind of opens it up. I don't want to get into everybody, but I was just trying to get, not yet at least, I was just trying to give you a little background of why I took him number 1 over Kelce. Yep. And obviously Kelce is my number 2, Travis Kelce. He's our consensus 1, the Dad Bod consensus 1.
He's my 1, in case anyone's wondering. He's everybody else's 1. He is locked and loaded, as they say, as the number 1.
Hashtag not my tight end 1.
Yeah.
Number 3 is George Kittle, the monster himself.
Yeah,
Robbie's not.
This is where we diverge. I believe I have him at 8.
You have him at 7, Robbie, 7. And our consensus is 4. So actually, he is. I know that. Wait, I said that wrong. Our average comes out to 4, but our consensus it does have him at 3. He is the 3rd highest rank on our tight end list from the Dad crew. Number 4, I have Dalton Schultz. You guys have heard me talk about him plenty. So I'm just going to keep on trucking.
Man. Zach Ertz, that's another one for me. He seems to be a little high on your list for my liking. I like him, but we can get into him a little later. I think I got him. He might be my 8th or 9th.
Yes, I have number 5, Zach Ertz. We'll get into why shortly. Number 6, Darren Waller. This one hurts, man. Like, This is one of those ones when we're doing projections and we're like, yeah, I want Darren Waller as a top 3 tight end, but you can't project it to get him there.
Yeah, he's a tricky one. I love the talent. I think he's an awesome player, but there's reasons why he's down a little bit on everyone's list.
Yes, Darren Waller is our 6 tight end, consensus 6. So I'm right on par. Robbie has him at 4.
Yeah.
Also, missed opportunity of Robbie saying talent all night. I'm not even going to be able to put the little name on the board because Robbie is in control.
That's only when Mario's taking the mic. So sorry, people.
Number 7 is Kyle Pitts.
That's
I'm
another-
lower on Kyle Pitts. I'm the lowest in the group. He's our dad bod consensus 4. Robbie's going to tell me why he loves him tonight.
He's my boy. He's my if I had out of the top 2 that everyone talks about, you know, Kelsey, Andrews, he's my dark sleeper to
Robbie
be
has
the
him
number
3.
1. I could see him being number 1 by the end of the year.
Gross.
I got my reasons.
Whoops.
Whoopsie.
I think I spit on my mouse a little bit, and I ended up trying to wipe it. Anyways, number 8 is TJ Hawkinson.
Baby Hawk.
Baby
for Brian.
Hawk.
He's our consensus what's that?
He's our consensus 7.
7. Probably because Brian's got him at 2 or something.
Yeah, Zach Ertz, our consensus 10. I didn't mention that. That's where kind of the whole group from me differs. But yeah, I have him at 8.
You got him at 8. I got him at 9, I believe.
Yeah. And I actually have him and Robert Tonyan ranked very closely right now, where I'm considering putting Tonyan ahead of him. But he is our consensus 7. TJ
7.
Hawk.
Yep.
Baby Hawk.
Baby Hawk.
So, Robbie, Brian's already talking. No chance Andrews beats Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Huntley throws to him only. Lamar never throws to him. Kelsey is gonna be covered. There's no, I think the problem with Kansas City is exactly what we saw in the offseason. No Tyreek.
That's fair. I get where you're coming from, but I think Andy Reid is too smart to not figure out how to get him open. He's too good of a head coach. Kelsey's too good. Patrick Mahomes is too good. They're going to figure it out. And I have no worries about that. He's going to get maybe 150, 160 targets.
160?
I can see it. I don't think, well, I think it does. Do I think it will happen? No. But could it? I think it's very possible.
I'm big on Mark Andrews because I think there's a lot of available opportunity there.
Sure.
He's on an offense, and I talked about this I like Rashad Bateman too. I talked about the leaving of Marquise Brown. They want to, and I've mentioned this exact conversation before. Baltimore made it very clear what they want their offense to be. Lamar, the 2 running backs, and Mark Andrews, with Rashad being able to do some big plays and some nice first downs. They didn't add any receiving weapons.
I agree with that, but they're not going to throw the ball 600 times like Kansas City.
That's absolutely not going to happen.
That's my biggest issue.
I just still see it to the point where Mark Andrews. Well, Andrews has been in the top 5 before.
Sure. But Kelsey's consistently 1 or 2. There's no question about it. Andrews isn't. And you're relying you're relying on Lamar Jackson's arm, which I'm not willing to do.
Why?
Why not? Why would you?
I know. Why not?
Why would you be willing to?
What is this hate about Lamar's arm? Where does this come from?
I mean, he's just not that great of a passer.
I think he is. I don't want to go too deep into that.
Yeah, we don't need to get into the weeds with Lamar, but
can we just schedule a show to just have that conversation?
We could. I think the only reason he gets Andrews was as good as he was is because Lamar's threat of his legs opens up lanes, which is a fair point for you. It opens up wide open lanes down the middle of the field that normally don't happen.
You're really downplaying this whole offense. They have really integrated Mark Andrews, and they have been for the past 3-4 seasons now. 3 really is when we've seen it.
I just don't think he's going to repeat as 1. I'm not saying he's my number 2.
I know. And like I said already, I just like, I think there's a higher ceiling there. Kelsey's the safe
I don't.
pick.
I think what we saw from Andrews last year is his peak. The highest he can get.
Ugh,
Personally.
that's so tough. I mean, maybe though. That's pretty high for any tight end.
He put up, 300 points?
1,300 yards.
Yeah,
and
he
9
had 300.
TDs.
I mean, I don't see that happening again. But
Sure,
I can
so
see it happening from another tight end. I mean, I think I'd be
You think
willing,
that's
again,
Kelsey's game now?
Yeah, I could. I mean, again, they're going to throw the ball 600 times.
It's like
He's going to get his targets.
I don't know which argument to go with, because to me it's like Patty now has a ton of mid wide receivers he's going to be spreading the ball around to.
Sure. But in the red zone,
the number one focus for defenses still has to be Kelsey.
100%. But in the red zone, it's Kelsey all day. But with Baltimore, it's the running ability of the two running backs of Lamar. And then, yeah, you have to factor in Andrews. But I think a lot of those cheap touchdowns that Kelsey's gonna get goes to Lamar's legs.
No, because I want to say he had 7 or 6 before Lamar went out.
Yeah, I mean, he'll get 6 or 7 touchdowns. I'm not arguing that, but he's not going to come down with 13 like Kelsey should.
I think we're going to see a completely different Kansas City offense. Kelsey is turning 32 this year? Let me double check that. He is turning, oh shoot. Kelsey is turning he's 32, going to turn 33. Now, I give it to you. Tony Gonzalez was a beast all the way to age 37. Kelsey is very much that sort of tight end generational talent from the tight end position that it's likely. The dude doesn't really deal with injuries ever. I think very, very early in his career, he had some sort of, what was it? I don't think it was the ACL, but it was something odd. And he got surgery, and he was like one of the few to come back and dominate from that specific surgery. I can't think of the surgery right now.
Andrews?
Kelsey,
I'm sorry. Okay. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I'm not worried about Kelsey's age, to be honest. I mean, even if he loses a step, he's just great. He's still going to be really good, and he's still going to get 140 targets. It's all about the volume.
I mean, I agree, but I know Mark Andrews has a pretty strong chance to have the same sort of volume.
That's where we differ. I just don't see it.
It was a knee patella fracture.
Okay. Wow.
Which is, I don't think, very common. And I think a lot of times you see guys come back and don't do as well. He had that very early. It was in 2013. I want to say he was a rookie.
Sounds about right.
Little side note.
He's up there. Yeah, he's definitely up there in age. There's no question.
So you don't like Kittle?
Not as high as you, buddy. Not as high as the dad bots.
What about the George Kittle love?
I have him on, what do I have him, 8 overall for my rankings. We were talking about it off air a little bit. My concern isn't the player. I love him. He's a great player. My concern...
You have him 7.
7. My concern is that I truly believe over the last 2-3 seasons, he was Jimmy G's safety blanket. When the play fell apart, Jimmy G knew he could always look for Kittle. That's his game. I don't think that's going to be what happens this season. I think Lance is going to look more downfield to the receivers as opposed to over the middle for Kittle. So I think he's going to lose, I'm not saying a ton of targets, but a solid 15 to 20, which is a big difference with tight ends.
I just struggle to understand watching last season where he played 14 games.
Yep.
And you talk about Jimmy G and how he's Jimmy G's safety blanket.
Yeah.
Debo ended up with 1,400 receiving yards and another 300 rushing yards. Debo is very much the focal point of this offense last season.
Yeah.
And Kittle still manages to come out with 71, 910, 6 TD stat line.
It is impressive. I'm not going to lie. It's impressive.
And he's going since his breakout year. He's going pretty much one of the latest he's ever gone in fantasy that I've ever seen, that I've ever spent my cheese on.
ADP 32
in this economy.
Sure. Yeah. Again, man, I think he loses the 10 to 15 targets.
Go ahead.
That's where I saw it on Sleeper, I'm sorry.
Probably.
Yeah, Sleeper. So again, I think it's the 10 to 15 to 20 targets that when the play broke down, Jimmy G looked at Kittle. And I think this year it's Lance is going to look to throw the deep ball or he's going to use his legs more. That I'm not saying the schematic plays that will go to him. I think it's the broken plays that Jimmy G has awareness and he knows where Kittle is at all times. I don't think Lance does.
Come on. The tight end is your safety blanket for young QBs. Always is, always will be.
Sure, but not with a crazy talented arm like that where he thinks he can make every throw. It's a different type of quarterback. And then he can use his legs.
Kittle is a different type of tight end too. He goes deeper. It's not like he's just staying short routes, short ends, short over the middles. He goes deep too.
Okay.
I like Kittle.
Can we start bets? We need to have a piggy bank bet or something like that. Like we could start having these bets out.
What? So you have him at 7 though?
Yeah. You have him at 3. Tight ends, that's a big difference. You have
if Kittle plays 16, wait, no, I won't even say 16. If Kittle plays 14 games, I think he will be tight end 3 this year.
Let's do this. What do you have Kyle Pitts at?
7.
Who finishes higher? Let's make this bet. I got Pitts.
It's easy. This is so easy.
I got Pitts. You take Kittle.
Sure.
Okay.
Is there any injury sort of?
Yeah,
clauses?
I mean, we have to. If they miss what? Let's say 4 games.
All right, cool.
Fair. Let's start tallying these bets up because they can start coming quick.
Well, let me ask you: do you want to go talk about Kyle Pitts right now, or do you want to go into? Let me add one more thing on Kittle because I just saw it. Debo ain't playing that same sort of role.
Sure. He's not going to be running the ball. You're right. He's going to be more as a receiver.
And he's oh, dude, don't make me get onto my red flag page.
Uh-oh.
He won't even be healthy the whole time.
Neither will Kittle.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
So don't even throw that in my face.
I didn't want to say that.
See, I didn't even want to bring up that. Which he's hurt every year. But I digress.
He's a monster, dude.
I said I'm not arguing that fact.
Where do you want to do? You want to do your top 8 or do you want to go to Kyle Pitts? Tell me.
Let's get in, my top 8. Or do you want to go to
No, I like that.
Okay.
Oh, unless you want to go to Zach Ertz.
Ooh. You idiot.
Did you whisper that?
Yeah, you idiot.
Nobody will hear this. Let's do your top 8 and we'll go over the other guys.
All right, let's get into my top 8.
You could go. They're all laid out there.
All right, so we got Travis Kelce, number 1 consensus. Mark Andrews, which we just talked about forever, but I still have him at number 2, so it's not like I'm really down on him or anything like that. Kyle Pitts, that's my dark sleeper, like I said, to be. I think he could end up season.
He's your dark horse tight end 1 candidate.
100%.
You know, I really want you. I'm going to let you finish here, Rob. But with Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
All right. I'll sit back.
I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. I don't even care about Marcus Mariota. He's a horrible quarterback. He can do it. He'll be fine. Darren Waller, number 4. I'm bouncing him and Schultz back and forth, and he honestly might end up number 6 because I love Tunyon as well. Schultz, we kind of talked about him. He was number 5 last year. I think he finishes the same. He's a great player, and he's going to have a ton of opportunity this season in that offense. Robert Tunyon, we'll get into him a little bit later. I think me and you are both high on him. Kittle 7, just talked about him, and then Zach Ertz number 8. Not a huge fan of him, to be honest, but he'll get the volume. He's with a good quarterback, and that offense is they'll throw the ball a lot.
You know, I have a lot to say about the rankings, but I really wanted to kind of we have time today. Tight ends are relatively fast. I put together a spreadsheet. If anybody's familiar with how VLOOKUP is or works on a spreadsheet, it needs to be exact. And throughout the time that we were prepping to get ready for the show and we're all doing our rankings, occasionally I'd come across where our consensus rankings were like N/A, so not applicable.
Oh, here we go.
And I'm like, who's causing this on our overall consensus? Because the overall consensus is you add them all up and then you divide by the certain amount. Well, if one person was an NA and it tries to add an NA, that means the overall consensus goes to NA. And guess who would always cause an NA?
Oops.
Robbie Bobby. And you guys are all
Whoopsie.
probably wondering, why am I mentioning this? Well, because he spells names wrong. He puts them in there as nicknames. He does whatever with his names. Like it just became Zeke, which I know that's what we call him. But I already put him in the spot to like the names are already there. They're already there. Robbie, can you show the slide one more time real quick? I have one thing.
Did I spell something wrong? Here. Oh, God.
Darren Schultz. Schultz.
Whoops.
Back to the preparation days, Robbie. I knew we'd be here. This is right back to where we were ranking. You spelling names wrong. You're looking at it like, where's it wrong? You missed a C. It's a C.
You don't have it either. Oh, because I did it.
You put him. You're like, oh, got him. You told me.
There we go. Come on, man. Why you gotta call me out? We're live right now.
I have some love for this guy. And Robbie hates him, apparently. And by hate, I mean he's 3 spots lower. Again, we're looking at tight ends 1 through 8. There's not going to be huge variation. But 3 is pretty big when you're looking at tight ends.
100%.
He is my tight end number 5. He's Robbie's tight end number 8, Zach Ertz.
Yes.
Why
are you so high on him? Dude? Why are you so high on him? I want to know. Yeah.
What? No. It's easy.
Go on.
Your best receiver is out for six weeks. Let's start there. Okay. When Zach Ertz got traded, week 7, he was the tight end 4 in the league.
Yeah.
From 7 to 18. That's with DeAndre. That's with Christian Kirk. That's with Chase Edmonds.
Christian Kirk.
That's with
Chase Edmonds.
What? He was relevant.
Okay.
What?
Okay. They bring in Marquise Brown, so.
And that's it. I mean, at least
throw your Christian Kirk thing out there. And how long is Hop suspended? 6 games?
Yeah.
Sure. So he'll be a top 5 tight end for 6 games.
But he was top 4. He was top 4 from 7 to 18.
So he'll be top 4. Whatever you want to say. I don't see it repeating. He's good. He's 31 now, which we just talked about Kelsey, but no. I don't think Ertz is even in that category as Kelsey. Yeah, that's true. So he's losing a little bit of I'm sure he'll lose a little step. He's definitely older. And then they brought in a 2nd round tight end that sure he's not going to be the starter. He's not going to be, he probably won't be the number 1 rookie tight end in the league, but he's going to put a dent in Zach Ertz's production. No matter what you say, they don't use a 2nd round draft pick on a tight end who is a receiving specialist in Trey McBride and not use him. And it will affect it.
I need to know what we're talking here with McBride. Because if you say something ridiculous, I'm going to be pissed.
What?
What's the dent?
20 to 25 targets out of Zach Ertz's production. And that's big in our tight end. Man, what?
That sounds large for an offense that lost a lot of weapons. That sounds pretty hefty for it to all come out of Zach Ertz. Like they don't run 2 tight end sets. Like Zach Ertz didn't have 10 end zone targets in the amount of time that he was there.
But that's what I'm saying.
Which is insane. End zone targets are within the 5.
So it might go from 10. It might go from 10 to 7. Is that crazy to think? Just because you bring in a legitimate receiving tight end?
When is Zach Ertz? Like, I know that you're downplaying Zach Ertz right now because he had a couple of rough years at the end in Philadelphia there. But there's no way
he had a second tight end with him.
No, he just
he came. Did.
They had it. Okay, he had Dan Arnold here. That's a second tight end.
Dan Arnold.
Yeah, it's not the guy that I want to die on the hill. It's not the guy I want to die on the hill for.
You're
I mean, what? Like,
all
I'm saying about a rookie who hasn't played an NFL snap, and you're making fun of me for talking about Dan Arnold.
100%. But it is a second round tight end. If it was a fifth round, I wouldn't say anything. It's a second round tight end. They have a plan what they're going to do with them. They wouldn't draft him otherwise.
Tight end 5. I think I
got him tight end 8 or 7, 8. But I think the Trey McBride is going to make that difference from 5 to 8.
Can you name the last? I guess here's the problem. You're really not. I've been wanting to ask this question, and now it's already halfway out there. Can you name the last good rookie tight end? But I guess that's not really what
Kyle Pitts.
Oh, good point. Before him.
I mean, we could. What's it? The guy from New York was very good as a. What's
about 5 years
Ingram?
ago? 6 years
Evan
ago.
Ingram.
I want to say it was about 5 years ago. 6 years ago.
Okay, just for
Kyle Pitts is a freak.
For argument's sake, I'm not even arguing that fact that he needs to be an amazing rookie tight end. All I'm saying is look at what Harrison Bryant did his rookie season, right? He probably had 40 targets, but the 40 targets can make a dent in Zach Ertz's production. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, sure. But like Zach Ertz has much more of an expanded role in this offense now that they have kind of lost a ton of offensive weapons.
Did they?
I also think this.
Did they?
I don't want to.
Marquise Brown is for sure an upgrade.
Do we expect Connor to have the season that he did and to stay healthy? Do we expect that?
The real question is, what are we expecting from Kyler Murray? The first half of the season or the second?
Yeah, because his second half sucked.
It was terrible, and that's been the last.
But that's
2
all.
seasons.
But that was when Zach Ertz was there, so he was bulletproof to that.
Was Murray hurt?
7 to 18. Yeah, a couple
during
weeks.
that span.
Yes.
With Ertz.
Yeah, I don't know which weeks specifically.
Yes. Uh-oh.
If you were to come out,
you got some deep dive.
No, I don't have to deep dive. You're the one coming with the.
Sure, I'll look it up.
There you go.
I'll look it up.
We don't need it now. It's going to take too long.
Yeah.
We'll keep it trucking.
We will.
We'll talk about the rookie that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
He's really a wide receiver.
100%. Thank you for just making my argument for me, Mario.
He's a stud. That's definitely not anything to do with where I have him ranked.
He is probably the biggest freak of nature tight end we've seen. Maybe ever.
You're so high on him. So's Cody. So's
3?
House.
He finished. So he finished. He was the second rookie tight end in history to have over 1,000 yards receiving. Can you name the other one?
Tony? Was it Tony?
Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't think it's Kelsey. It's definitely not Kelsey because he had a messed up first year. It's not Evan Ingram. Ooh, this is fun, Rob. I used to know this.
I'll give you one more guess.
Okay. Oh, hint? No hint? No hint?
You want a hint? Okay.
Yeah. Initials. Give me the initials.
MD.
Nope, I'm blanking, dude. I'm probably like the idiot of the group.
Not at all. Mike Ditka in 1961. The next closest was Jeremy Shockey in 2002 with 894. That's the difference we're talking. That's Kyle Pitts. He was the third highest ever fantasy point season by a rookie tight end, only trailing Gronk by 5 points for the number one spot. And Gronk had 10 touchdowns that season. Guess how many Kyle Pitts had last year? Oh, it's right on the screen. One.
Did you expect more? But I'll let you finish.
Do you expect less?
No.
Do you anticipate him to only get one? Do you think that? What do you think's more realistic? He gets on the league average of 5 to 6, or he's going to stay at 1?
I don't think he gets to 5 to 6.
That's
that's
crazy.
Let me see. I'll tell you exactly what I think, but keep going.
If he had 5 more touchdowns, which again, that's around the league average for a starting tight end, especially with the amount of targets he had. He finishes tight end 3 as a rookie last year. Another fun fact for the third highest fantasy. So Gronk was number 1. Guess who was I want to say number 5 on that list.
As a
rookie tight end fantasy points. That should be a hint right there. Gronk was 1.
Yeah. Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah. Same season.
Yeah.
As Gronk.
12?
That's wild.
Was it 12? I think it was 12 or 11.
I believe it was 11, if I'm not mistaken. And then, yeah, dude, he averaged 15.1 yards per reception. I don't know where this craziness is that he can't finish 1. He is the second receiver ever to finish with 1,000 receiving yards. And he had one touchdown. That's not going to happen again. It won't happen. They bring in Drake London, he's going to get attention in the red zone, which only opens things up for Kyle Pitts.
I thought are you still going?
Go ahead.
Because I'll let you keep going if you want.
No, I want to. Do I need to keep going? I mean, I don't know where you're coming from, where you think he's gonna get 1 touchdown again. I understand Marcus Mariota, Atlanta. That offense was historically bad last season. I just don't see it happening again.
He averaged 15.1 yards per catch. All right. So already that's a huge amount, especially for a tight end. On top of that,
I'll give you that.
We have Marcus Mariota throwing him the ball. I don't know where it started happening that a lot of people don't think Matt Ryan is talented.
I'm not arguing that.
Career. At one point, I would say borderline elite at one point.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
100%. My argument for that, which I completely get, it's a fair argument. Matt Ryan is probably the slowest quarterback in the league. He's good. He has very good pocket awareness, but he's not mobile at all. And this offensive line was terrible last season, so there was 0 time for him to throw the ball. Mariota helps that out. If anything, that it helps Kyle Pitts get downfield more.
So, I don't think so. Kyle Pitts is 8th in the last 11 seasons for yards per reception.
Sure, that'll regress. I'm not. Yeah,
it has to, right? I mean,
and the touchdowns have to go up.
It doesn't have to. Yeah, you would hope, but I just can't see another situation where he has 1,000 yards. With Mariota, I think he is a stud. But next year, we're coming into a season where they had the second worst O-line, and now it's not Matt Ryan back there being able to
So let me say this:
to be able to facilitate the offense. We have Marcus Mariota, the number 2 pick in 2016, that was an absolute bust in Tennessee, who is hardly healthy. his only chance, the only thing that will save Kyle Pitts for me is if Desmond Ridder gets in there, and that's still a wild card.
I'd love to bring up
And
Mariota's
I don't want to
numbers
hear
because I don't think
wanna
he was as bad as you're portraying him.
Mariota.
Yeah,
He was awful.
I don't think he was as terrible as you're leading on.
Tennessee went from barely competing.
He went to the playoffs,
I think missing
didn't
once, twice, maybe,
he? Okay.
to absolute being monsters in the playoffs. A team that you should fear.
Okay. Was that Ryan Tannehill or was that Derrick Henry?
Well, a little bit of both.
Don't even start with
one
that.
year. It was Tannehill was fine one year. I don't
Did
know.
Did Mariota ever have Derrick Henry?
I do often
I don't think
Mariota.
so.
He did have Derrick Henry. They just didn't use him. Derrick Henry was there the whole time. They didn't use him the same.
Okay.
Which
well,
I don't really know why. I mean, they had
that's the only, and that's the only
couple guys.
reason that Tannehill was any halfway decent was because they were pounding the ball, and then there were wide open passing lanes.
Oh, so don't even try to do this.
They bring in a running back this offseason that should help out. I'm sure I don't know, but I'm assuming they address the offensive line a little bit. And then they bring in Drake London. And then there's vacated receptions with Russell Gage being gone.
Yeah, and you're not helping your argument any bit, because
with what? No
why
Russell
wouldn't
Gage?
defense?
Oh, well, Mario seems to be a little frozen,
Am I back?
but he's out of control. Oh, yeah, you're back.
You have no running back.
They brought in a running back.
Trash wide receivers who
They have Drake
expect London to come around. He's a rookie. I don't.
And
think
they
it's gonna
traded for
happen with
Bryan
Mariota
Edwards.
either. Come on. That's
he'll
like
help.
me doing like standing on the Auden Tate hill.
He'll help.
Free Bryan Edwards. Will it help?
He'll help.
Derek Carr couldn't make him relevant. You think Mariota's going to do it? No defense is not like all defenses are going to hone in on Kyle Pitts all season.
Which they did last season.
Yards per reception.
They did that last season at his rookie year.
Yeah, exciting. Are you ready to hear this stat? 8th in the last 11 years. You know what he was for yards after catch? 98th, which isn't awful. But the fact that it's so different from where he falls with his yards per reception.
So all you're telling me
is that he wasn't making anything happen, is that Matt Ryan was getting him.
No. Or he had 3 people draped over him and he was going up and mossing everybody and coming down with the ball. That's all you're telling me.
The problem is the 3 people are going to intercept Mariota this time around. And it's not Kyle Pitts' fault.
All you got to do is throw it up just high enough and he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
And other Kyle Pitts truthers like, oh, he sustained Delaney Walker. Completely different situation, dude.
Why is that?
They had an offense there. They had running backs. They had wide receivers. They had Derrick Henry, Deion Lewis, I think DeMarco Murray for a year. There was an offense there.
DeMarco Murray.
They had an O-line. Atlanta's O-line is so bad. It's going to be the worst in the year.
I genuinely don't know if they added anybody, so I can't really speak on that. But
I love their coach.
Their offense was so terrible last season. It can't be worse.
That is such a weird way to look at things. They just got rid of their franchise quarterback and they're moving to a scrub. And you're going to say it can't be worse?
Again, Matt Ryan is so immobile that he didn't have enough time to throw the ball.
Let's go. Let's keep it trucking here because we are starting to burn on what we expected to be a short episode.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a quick one.
Let's go to our last one because at least we won't argue about this one.
Yeah, we both have love.
We both have love. Up.
These animals.
Robert Tonyan.
These animals at the dad bods. He's my tight end. What do I have? 5, 4, or 6?
No, 6.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
interesting. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, ADP tight end 21. I just don't understand. He's going 165th overall. I understand last season he had 50 points, but he only played 8 games. He tore his ACL. in 2020, he was tight end 3, Mario, with 124 points. That would have been tight end 4 last season. So he's proven he can do it. There's a ton of vacated targets, a ton of vacated yards, a ton of vacated touchdowns where who's going to get them besides Tunyon?
I agree with you. I love the Aaron Rodgers and Tunyon connection.
Yeah.
I hope I'm saying his last name right.
So do I. I say
he could be a monster. There was games last year's, I think it was 2 years ago, where he would put up 3 TDs. I mean, there's a ton. Let's not even talk about the vacated targets, because I think what's more important is there's a ton of TDs up for grabs here.
100%.
I talked about this with Lazard, and I think Tunyon is the other guy. And Aaron Rodgers is surrounded by people he doesn't know and rookies outside of Tunyon and Lazard.
If there's anything that we know about A-Rod, he loves to throw the ball to people he trusts. He does not like new people. He does not like rookie receivers. He goes to people that he had a connection with in the past, and Allen Lazard and Robert Tunyon.
Yeah, I bumped him up. He's actually probably before I did it after you made our ranks, but he probably passed TJ Hawk for me.
Yeah, he
and it's because of availability. I mean, like when you look at Detroit, there's 5 different pass catchers there. When you look at Green Bay, there's 2.5. I don't freaking know.
Yeah,
maybe 3. Randall Cobb will steal some TDs. Like I fully expect that. The one game that Devontae Adams was out, Cobb had 2 TDs for 15 yards.
I think the bigger concern with that is going to be the running backs in the red zone. I think they're going to pound the ball way more than they have in the past. But I still think Tunyon's going to come down with, I don't think 8's crazy.
Yeah, I do like what they're going to do with their running backs. But again, this is a guy that's going, I think your ADP may be a little off.
It might be too early.
In best ball, he typically is going like tight end 14 or 15.
Okay.
I snag him up every time.
Even at 15. That's crazy. That's a crazy value that you.
Man, I wish we had Cody on here so we could just tear him apart, because he would call this a trash tight end.
I think.
Although I think he's starting to have some Tunyon love though, or he always has.
Which sneak peek? We're doing a little segment. Me, Mario, Cody. We're getting into some player analysis, quick hitters, and we all had to put our players down. And it was first come, first serve. I was a little busy last night, so I get on there today. Cody takes Tunyon. He's got him at like tight end 12 or something like that, and he's gonna steal him. I got him at tight end 6. What's wrong with this guy?
I made sure to yell at him for you.
Yeah,
Sure did.
I seconded it. Don't worry. I threw some notes.
Good. Robbie, did you have a guess that player for us?
Yes, I did, Mario.
I can't wait till we get the drop for this.
Dun, 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 dun.
I was thinking,
all right, Mario.
That player.
All right, let's get into this. Player A, okay? He had 107 receptions, 1,161 yards, and 8 touchdowns in 2021. He had a combined 313 targets in the previous 2 seasons. 2 seasons. It's insane. Player A is being drafted at 41 ADP, and wide receiver 13. Player B had 74 receptions, 1,035 yards, and 14 touchdowns in 2021. He combined for 223 targets in the previous 2 seasons, and player A is being drafted 28th overall at wide receiver 10. Mario, any guesses?
You know what's funny, Rob, is I was setting this up and I saw pictures, but I don't remember who they are.
There we go. That's all I want.
Go to player B and I'll try to guess. You okay?
What do you mean?
You read player B.
Player B,
right?
I just read it. 74 receptions.
Oh, I missed it.
Okay. 74 receptions, 1,035 yards, and 14 touchdowns. He had 223 targets in the previous 2 seasons, and he's being drafted 28th overall, wide receiver 10.
Oh, is this Mike Williams and Keenan Allen?
It is not.
Am I good to reveal?
You're good to reveal.
You sure? It's Oddish! Hey!
You got it.
Guess that Pokemon! I'm going to annoy everyone by the end of the season with that. Oh! I saw this picture and I still forgot.
We have Lil Johnson and Mike Evans. Mario.
Dude, the Deontay hate is strange, and I have it.
Is it not?
I definitely have it.
313 targets in the previous 2 seasons.
And it's not like he's... And I had this conversation with Alex today because I was thinking about this. Did the Steelers downgrade? No matter what Mitch does, is it a downgrade from what Ben currently
100.
was?
That is... my whole thought process on this is Ben Roethlisberger, he had a great career. No one can argue that. He was not good last year. He just wasn't. The only thing I can say is maybe because Deontay definitely is a shorter receiver, like a shorter yardage receiver, so like 15 yards and in. So they wouldn't push the ball downfield too much, and that's where Ben would throw the ball. So maybe he just always looked to him. But does Mitch really throw the ball too far downfield?
I don't think so. I think that.
Yeah. I don't really see it changing.
No,
I still think he's going to get
Juju.
150 targets.
There was no Juju. They have Claypool. So you have to worry about Claypool, Najee, I guess the Muth.
Sure.
I don't know. It is somebody that I think I might raise up a lot more. Mike Evans, though, is a little bit of a different situation just because I think he's just going to have a ton of touchdowns while Godwin's out because they're going to need somebody. I don't think they're going to have explosive plays from Godwin, so they're going to have to look to Mike Evans more in the end zone this year.
Russell Gage.
Come on.
He'll have a good year.
I haven't hopped on that train. Maybe I will.
We
don't
can get into that, but
know.
Turkey Tom has shown he can have 3 receivers. Be productive.
What did you call him?
Turkey Tom. Gobble, gobble, baby. Anyway, so with these stats, Mario, and with the ADPs, who would you rather take at the ADP?
Oof. Okay, so let me tell you.
Or 20.
I actually need to reevaluate everything on Deontay because what happens right where Deontay is going, I'll be honest with you, it's Michael Pittman every time. Or Cortland. It goes Michael Pittman or Cortland. Because if I'm actually 40, usually Michael Pittman is probably gone.
Yeah,
right
he's probably gone. He's probably gone mid 30. He's
been like 36 to 39 is where he's been going.
By the beginning of the season, I think there's going to be so much Michael Pittman hype.
It seems to have already taken place.
You know what I mean?
And Cortland goes 42 to 48. And something that I mentioned before in other shows is like Deontay seems like he's going to have the highest floor. And 100%. I'm still like, give me Cortland. He could be top 10.
See, and so could Deontay. He's already done it. That's the crazy part. Is Deontay was 8th last year. He was 8th last year. He's just consistently good.
I like Deontay too. Like I had him in a couple leagues last year.
So did I. That's why I have all this. I got love for him.
I don't know if it's something with the name. Like it's one of those weird names.
It's not flashy. It's not a flashy, like he doesn't get, 150 yards. He doesn't have a huge game ever. It's always like 10 receptions for 80 yards and a touchdown.
I think we need to reevaluate a ton of things, not only in the fantasy community, but how we view things. Because when we take a guy like Cortland Sutton, who did pretty poorly last year, and we put him in the same field as Deontay, doesn't that seem odd? That seems very wrong.
Speak on it.
It just doesn't seem right. And guess what? I do it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, so do I. we talk about this all the time. And what the crazy part too is, with all that research I did for that article, it everything points back to top 10 receivers is 140 targets or more.
Volume.
No
Yeah,
matter what.
it's always volume.
The outlier usually
And who's in
is,
line for more volume? Deontay.
it's always Deontay. The only outlier usually is Mike Evans. He usually gets like 120 targets, but he always has like 14 touchdowns. So he's always a little bit outside of the rule just because of the amount of touchdowns he comes down with. He's always got like 12 at least, which is crazy.
Mike Evans looking a little old in that picture.
He is a little old.
He's younger than both of us, Rob.
We're old. How old is he? 29?
I think 28. I think he's 28.
And up there for a receiver.
Yeah, 28. Turns 29 this year.
He's getting up there for a receiver. Deontay's
Yeah,
23. Deontay's 23.
That's pretty insane because this is year 3.
Yeah, this is
Right?
year 3 or year 4. This is year 4.
He's coming into year 4 and he's 23, so he's turning 24.
Yeah,
Gotta be. This is
Still.
year 4 for him?
Yes. His
Man.
sophomore, so
It's
his
like Amari
so
Cooper.
year 3, he was receiver 8.
Velus Jones is already older than him.
Yeah, his year 2, his second year in the
How many
league,
other
he had
rookies are?
150 targets.
There's a ton of rookies that are older than him this year.
I mean,
Yeesh.
he produces too. He comes down with the ball. He always has over 110 receptions. I mean, if he can repeat it this year, if he does what he did last year, this year, the hate's gone. Like, nobody can talk shit about him anymore. Like, shut your mouths. He's a top 10 receiver. That's it. Just stop hating on my man. Even though I'm a Browns fan, I don't know why I have this love for him, but he's just good, man. He's just good.
Robbie, I think as we keep going through these episodes and everything, we start losing our Browns fandom and we have to just be real.
Yeah, agree. And he's on
You
my
think
list.
Deontay Johnson is going to finish ahead of Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
This is easy.
Yeah. See, you're right with what you were talking about a minute ago with this whole mindset of what a player could be with what happened in the offseason, as opposed to what is the consistency year after year, right? So like the Courtland Sutton is a perfect example. He gets Russell Wilson, and me and
Boom, value.
you look at it. We texted each other the day of, I think.
I tried to trade him.
And Courtland Sutton instantly became a top 10 receiver for us. Instantly.
Yeah, it
Which
and
is
like it was funny.
Okay. I mean, it's fair to assess that, but the hate that some of these players get, that just doesn't make any sense, just because it's not they don't get the sexy points. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and you and I texted, I was like, hey, you actually wanted CD Lamb. I'm like, I don't know, man. CD Lamb's prime for a big year. And you offered me Judy. You offered me a pretty good offer at first. And I'm like, throw in Courtland. Throw in Courtland and it's a deal. No. And I kept going for Courtland. And then after I realized that I wasn't getting him at all, I was like, yeah, I think he's going to be
I wasn't giving him up.
I
still have high hopes for him. I really do.
This is what we just saw in LA. It's the exact same situation. Bring a QB in, watch your studs just fly in front of you.
It's a fair point, you know.
And they seem buddy. I know I'm not supposed to be looking at things in Junes from the other dad bods, but they seem buddy.
Have you heard I know we got to get out of here, but have you heard the reports out of Chicago?
Darnell Mooney and Justin Fields. Brian posted that today. Oh, wait, real quick.
I don't
Kenny
hate it.
Pickett and Claypool are both older than Deontay.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And he's going into year 4 and he's already been a top 10 receiver. It's craziness. I
didn't know he was that young.
Yeah.
I knew he was I knew it was like year 3 or 4 for him. So I would have probably guessed like 25, but that's pretty insane.
So he's going to be 24, which.
Robbie, do you have any last thoughts for our tight end episode?
into sleepers tomorrow, so we can get more into that stuff. But I
got
hate
some
your
sleepers
Zach
tomorrow.
Ertz, and I hate your George Kittle picks, and I love my Kyle Pitts. And you know what? Maybe he'll find his way to tight end number 1 on my rankings by the beginning of the season.
Oh, gross. That was just being in spite of me, huh?
Yeah, 100%.
That was a good conversation. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about Kyle Pitts with you.
You too, Mario.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
I'm glad we have these chats.
I look back at this episode and be like, man, but I actually kind of think the same thing about you. Maybe he just falls somewhere in the middle of us.
Kyle Pitts?
Only time will tell. Interesting.
Well, good thing we got that bet going. $100,000.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Did you want people to send prayers, vibes, anything for your nose so you don't come out looking like the Goonies guy?
Yeah, I'm accepting ice packs.
Guys!
We're starting a GoFundMe for nose surgery, so
yes,
hit up Dad Bod Squad. We really appreciate all the well wishes and birthday and cards and flowers. You can send it to my house. We really appreciate it.
Butt for a nose. All right, everyone.
I already have a big one, so it's not gonna help.
Thank you for tuning in to the Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. If you don't know where to find us, at Dad Bod FS on Twitter, Dad Bod Fantasy Squad on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and for podcasts, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all the major streaming podcast websites. For myself and for Robbie Bobby, who hasn't minimized our screen, thank you for tuning in. Peace!